This heading, Introduction to the Kitten's Discovery of the Mysterious Floating Feather, marks the inciting incident of our story, establishing the central enigma and the protagonist's initial encounter with it. The core concept here is the introduction of the central mystery through the protagonist's direct observation. It's about setting the stage for the unusual, presenting the what if that drives the narrative. The significance of this point is paramount. It's the hook, the moment that grabs the audience's attention and establishes the core conflict or puzzle. Without this initial discovery, there's no story. It defines the problem that the kitten, and by extension the audience, will seek to understand. It also immediately characterizes the feather as mysterious and floating, highlighting its unusual nature and setting it apart from ordinary feathers. Consider two examples. In a classic detective story, this would be the discovery of the body or the missing artifact. The detective, our protagonist, stumbles upon the anomaly, sparking their investigation. In a science fiction narrative, it might be the first sighting of an unidentified flying object by a curious astronomer. Both scenarios present an inexplicable event to a character, initiating their journey of discovery. Many storytellers and literary critics would agree that a strong opening, particularly one that introduces an intriguing mystery, is crucial for audience engagement. It creates immediate curiosity and a desire to see how the puzzle unfolds. This initial wow moment is what makes a story memorable. A potential challenge or alternative viewpoint could be that some stories prefer a more gradual reveal of the mystery, building suspense over time rather than presenting it up front. However, for a story like The Curious Kitten and the Floating Feather, the immediate, almost whimsical nature of the discovery is part of its charm. The controversy might lie in whether the mystery is too simple or too complex for the intended audience. But for a kitten's perspective, a floating feather is perfectly pitched. This point directly influences every subsequent aspect of the main topic. The kitten's curiosity, its attempts to interact with the feather, its eventual understanding of why it floats, all stem from this initial discovery. It dictates the kitten's actions, the challenges it faces, and ultimately, the resolution of the story. The floating feather that wouldn't fall is the central object of the kitten's fascination, and this heading is where that fascination begins. I noticed that you've mentioned you want me to explain a heading from an outline about The Curious Kitten and the Floating Feather that Wouldn't Fall, but you haven't actually included the specific heading you'd like me to address. This appears to be a charming children's story or educational narrative about a kitten encountering an unusual physical phenomenon with a feather. To provide you with the detailed explanation you're requesting, including the definition, significance, examples, supporting opinions, challenges, and connections to the main topic, I'll need you to share the specific heading or section from your outline that you want me to expand upon. For instance, if your heading is something like The Science Behind Static Electricity, or The Kitten's Growing Curiosity, or When Physics Defies Expectations, each would require a completely different approach and content. The heading might focus on the scientific principles at play, the character development of the kitten, the narrative structure of the story, or the educational objectives you're trying to achieve. Once you provide the actual heading, I'll be able to craft a comprehensive 350 to 400 word explanation that includes all the elements you've requested. A clear definition of the concept, its importance to your main topic about the curious kitten and the mysterious floating feather, at least 2 specific examples or real-world applications, relevant supporting opinions if applicable, potential challenges or alternative viewpoints, and how this particular point connects to and influences the broader narrative or educational goals of your piece. Please share the specific heading you'd like me to elaborate on, and I'll provide you with detailed, script-ready content that captures the essence of that section while offering valuable insights for your audience, whether they're young children learning about curiosity and nature, or educators looking to teach scientific concepts through engaging storytelling. The defying feather at the heart of this story possesses remarkable physical characteristics that challenge our everyday understanding of how feathers should behave. Unlike ordinary feathers that drift downward, following predictable patterns of air resistance and gravity, this particular feather maintains a mysterious suspension in midair, hovering without falling, regardless of environmental conditions. Its barbs shimmer with an unusual iridescence, and its rachis seems to vibrate at an imperceptible frequency, creating a subtle hum that only the curious kitten can detect. This anomalous behavior serves as the central mystery driving the narrative forward, representing how wonder and curiosity can be sparked by phenomena that defy our expectations. The feather becomes a symbol of the unexplained magic that exists in ordinary moments, teaching both the kitten and readers to question their assumptions about the natural world. In real-world contexts, similar defying behaviors can be observed in electrostatically charged objects that seem to hover near surfaces, or in the phenomenon of acoustic levitation, where sound waves suspend small particles in midair. These scientific principles could explain the feather's behavior while maintaining a sense of enchantment. Another parallel exists in how certain birds' feathers possess unique structural properties that create optical illusions, making them appear to float even when falling normally. From a storytelling perspective, some might argue that providing a scientific explanation for the floating feather diminishes its magical appeal, while others contend that understanding the mechanics enhances appreciation for natural wonders. There's also debate about whether the feather's properties should remain mysterious throughout the story or be gradually revealed as the kitten investigates. This peculiar feather directly influences the kitten's character development, transforming casual observation into dedicated investigation. Each physical property discovered about the feather reveals something about the kitten's growing problem-solving abilities and persistence. The feather's behavior also affects the story's pacing, creating moments of stillness and contemplation, contrasted with bursts of playful attempts to catch it. Furthermore, the feather's defiance of gravity mirrors the kitten's own defiance of limitations, establishing a thematic connection between the physical object and the protagonist's emotional journey toward understanding that some mysteries are worth pursuing simply for the joy of discovery. I noticed that you've mentioned wanting information about a heading from an outline on The Curious Kitten and the Floating Feather That Wouldn't Fall. But you haven't actually included the specific heading you'd like me to analyze and explain. This appears to be a children's story or educational narrative about a kitten encountering a feather that seems to defy gravity or float in an unusual way. To provide you with the detailed explanation you're requesting, including definitions, significance, examples, supporting opinions, challenges, and connections to the broader topic, I would need to know which specific heading from your outline you want me to focus on. For instance, are you interested in exploring a heading about the kitten's curiosity and observational skills, the physics of how feathers fall and air resistance, problem-solving approaches the kitten uses, the emotional journey or character development, scientific concepts like gravity, updrafts, or static electricity, narrative elements like conflict or resolution? Once you provide the actual heading from your outline, I'll be able to craft a comprehensive 350 to 400 word explanation that covers all the elements you've requested. Clear definitions, significance to the main story, specific examples, and real-world applications. Relevant supporting perspectives, potential challenges, or alternative viewpoints, and how this particular point connects to other aspects of the tale about the curious kitten and the mysterious floating feather. Please share the specific heading you'd like me to expand upon, and I'll provide you with detailed, script-ready content that will help bring this section of your outline to life for your audience.